Making changes on my game based on Reddit comments. Let's go. I would if I could see anything. I know you're going for spooky, but this is just way too dark. Music's really bad, doesn't fit the genre. So you gonna wait until next Halloween to release it? When the music is absolutely cringe, the music's really bad. The art and animations looks nice and good. There's a positive one here, very rare. This might be the worst music choice I've ever heard. First unique mechanic I saw was the building mechanic. It might be interesting to build on that. This is what we're gonna do today, and make some changes on the lighting and some colors. But I think the music needs to go on the trailer. So for now, I'll show you where the current state of the game is, and then I'll take it from there. So yeah, that was the trailer, and now I'm playing the actual in-game music. So I'll let you decide if that was a bit bad. Maybe it was. The comments seemed unanimous, and I'm showing from this game trailer, or this is actual gameplay, where you can see some actual game footage. This is the current state of the game. You can summon there are some allies that will help you in your journey. So these are unlockables. Essentially, these are the pumpkin heads, I call them. And it's a roguelike. I'm still thinking about whether I would rather make the enemies a bit faster. So it takes some time to actually for them to gang up to you. But this is wave 1, so it'll come in waves. And finally, when you do get to level up, you select a skill. I quickly pick one which go quite fast because I memorized all the skills already. So you can build walls, and your projectiles would essentially bounce off it, and helping you create this kind of pinball effect. So I'm thinking like several walls or different towers would have different effects as the projectile bounces off, and then you strategize around it. So that's the idea, and it's still very early on, so I'm still thinking about what to implement. And as per that comment, like I think that's one of the key core elements I'm gonna introduce here. So I have this ice tower that I want to introduce. So essentially, when the projectile hits it will fire some ice bullets, and it will only work once you hit it. So this is how it would usually work. You split the sprites. So sprite is what they call these game assets, or when you have a picture, you call it sprites when you put it in game, and then you have to make sure that this is how animations are essentially created. And so I'm just manually, when I do get to be able to do like pixel perfect, I can determine and just key in like the exact size. But for now, I'm kind of winging it, so might not be the best practice, but it works for me for now. And there is some overhead trying to make sure that it's correct. Once that's done, I'll try to bring it in the game. So here, you can see that there's some localization errors here, and I reused some of my old assets currently. It's not showing up the correct sprite, as I said. So you can see the tower here is very small. I need to tweak it a bit so that way it looks like an actual tower rather than the plant. Again, a lot of trial and error. And the reason why you're seeing like the lightning bolt and all the skill choices, because there's a shortcut currently just for me as a developer to fast forward the levels. That way I can simulate leveling up. So it makes my workflow a lot easier rather than having to play the actual wave. So I'm just trying to see what would happen if I have the new levels. As you can see, the tower was sliding away there. It's not static yet, so I have to tweak some colliders and make sure it's static, so it doesn't, the tower doesn't slide and it stays into place. A lot of just tweaking and inserting here and there what the object should behave or how the game object should behave. So colliders, you call it colliders when essentially you're adding like a physical barrier across the sprite, so that way it would interact as if there is an actual tower. So if there's no collider, some things would go through it. And so you can see I'm trying to see how the bullet would react if I shoot through it. And for now, it's currently passing through, unlike the other wall that is already working. So you can see it's a lot of leveling up and trial and error. So behind the scenes there is some code, and I didn't think that would be interesting to put the code in, or let me know by the comments, like if you want me to see how my workflow is with actually coding the stuff. So here I'm just recording when I'm testing, like how after the code has been implemented. So right now I'm able to bounce off some of the projectiles against this ice tower, just making sure that the barriers, the colliders, as I said, is correct. That way it doesn't over exceed the barrier. So essentially, if the colliders are too wide, it would look like the balls or the projectiles are bouncing off from an invisible wall. So I have to make sure that the walls are correctly set up. So I'm speeding this process up. It's a bit tedious, but it has to be done. Let me know if is there any format that you are interested in these kinds of devlog. This is actually my first devlog with regards to building a game, so I'm still trying to figure out what's the best way to actually do this that is sustainable. I'm trying to record over after building it, because it takes some mental power or processing that I can really actually build and talk about it at the same time. So I'm impressed with the guys who actually do that, because I usually just concentrate on the code before and then recording and then doing the devlog separately. So by this time, I think I'm able to have this ice tower. It looks like it's kind of working now, bouncing off. So I think now I have to implement some ways for it to actually shoot some projectile while it's being hit. At this point, I'll show you some code. And I'm just testing out each side of the tower. There's no animation yet. I usually use JetBrains Rider if anyone is interested. What IDE I use. It has Junie as well, so it's like a built-in AI LLM that helps me debug some of the codes. And when I do push, like to the engineers who are watching, when I do push my code, it actually builds it in the pipeline. So I have a working copy. That way it'll have a, that's why I need to rebase, because it created a previous build from my previous commit. So that way I can, and it pushes in that branch. So that way I have a running clean demo build that I can deploy anywhere. So I have a pipeline. And yeah, just testing again, a lot of testing. Let me know if there's any features that you guys are interested in me creating in this game. And at this point, I'm happy that the tower is actually shooting after it hits, but it's still using the same projectile. Now it's using the ice bullets. Yay. You can see the ice projectiles are actually freezing some of the enemies when it bounces off, so it looks a bit lackluster because the tower isn't reacting. I need to make sure that there is some animations after it hits. So I think at this point I'm just testing the projectiles from getting shot. Just testing. A lot of it is just testing. I'm happy with this state. I have to add some now that it's somewhat working, I need to add some localization. So I have different languages set up, but for now I'm not gonna add different languages. I have a system that actually translates this, so I'll just type it out manually for now, and I'll convert it to different language if I need it, but it's all ready to go. So this is a pro tip to other indie devs out there who is probably watching. Make sure your localizations are ready. That way, if you do need to add separate languages, it's not gonna hunt you hunt you that decision later on. So make sure everything is ready, because it actually takes some time. So just let me know if it's interesting to actually share how I do the localizations, and I'll create a separate video for it. So for now, I'm happy with how the tower is working, and so I'm gonna add some animations. That way it reacts if it gets hits. That way the players has a sense of has that general game feeling. I'm just trying to figure out like what I'm I'm actually a bit hypnotized with how I'm also building it, because when I'm in a state of flow, I don't really see myself, and so watching like these steps that it feels like I'm also learning from my own devlog, which might be weird. But so I have the sprites, I'm creating the animator, and essentially just ordering what works well based on the order of how it would look like. So you can see if I play around it, I can see how it would react. Let me speed this up. So yeah, just a lot of making sure that it looks smooth depending on the sprites that I have. So I think at this point I'm happy with the animation, simple animations that there is. It looks like it's some clouds and some snow coming out of the tower, and then I'll add it there. And yeah, that should be working now at this point. Let me know what are other features that you think are currently it's still buggy, like the tower is constantly playing, but there is a snow effect now, so I'm happy with that state. I just need to make sure that it actually just plays the animations. And a lot of the time when I'm trying to test it out, because the skills are random, I have to test it out I'm just hoping for the actual skills that I'm building to show up. So sometimes it would show up after 3 levels. That's why it's wave 3. I really need to make sure that I'm able to start the game with the new skill later on. So I have to develop that. So there's a way for me to start with the new skill that I'm building in game already. And if you aren't familiar, this is how you would actually create different states of animation. So you have to make sure that there is an idle state and then active state, so to speak. So I have to make sure that there is still some code when you're animating sprites, and you have to manually set that up. So for example, this is in the idle state, and I have to make sure that it turns into an active state when the projectile gets hit. A lot of testing and manually setting the transitions. So you can see I need to make sure that it gets set as I need to manually set the condition is correct. And I think I'm trying at this point. I'm trying to find where to set it. Yeah, there you go. Even I forgot where it was. So conditions, shoot through, and then it goes back and forth from true or false. So it'll be in the code to manage this trigger. It'll be in the code to trigger the transitions. I apologize if I'm stuttering sometimes because it is my first time creating this devlog, and I'm not really sure how it should go. So let me know, or do let me know what you guys expect, or what is the, if you find this interesting. And if you didn't know, I'm Mel. I'm the developer of Pumpkin Reaper, and I'm the other half of Aey and Mel, and we're actually traveling full-time as well. So our other channel is a travel channel, which is also a completely different industry that or in completely different channel that we're also building. So do check that one out. That's why if you see Aey and Mel, you see that's also me on the travel channel, and this is just us, what we are doing while sometimes we're doing like slow travel. At this point, I think the ice tower is oppositely working, but this is what I think Reddit was, or that Redditor was talking about, implementing a building structure where there's a bouncing effect. And that'll be, since I have the scaffolding and the blueprint here now, I will be creating different types of towers. That to me, that sounds interesting, but do let me know if that is a feature or a mechanics that you would see me further build out. And yeah, I think I'm really happy with this one. Let me know what you think about the music as well, and of course, don't forget to wishlist Pumpkin Reaper. It should be coming out hopefully before Halloween. And yeah, thanks for watching.